Hey, what's up, Joe? Quick demo video for you for your Starfall Saber by Nick Cohen over at Starfall Sabers, right? I just got done with this. I've been working on it off and on for the past couple days. I'm doing a little bit here and there in between other projects I was doing, and wanted to go over it with you now. So, yeah, it's installed with the Proffie V2. You do have your Shtok V3 NPXLs in there that you would ask for, so those are good. You've got the two switches by Phil Guinness over at Calminium Customs. I'm gonna have to ask him how to say that because I feel like I'm just saying it wrong. But Phil makes these awesome brass switches here. You can see those there. Yeah, so we got that. You've got your crystal reveal in here that Nick put in, and then to get to everything, what you want to do is take this pommel off, and we'll do that right now. There's just one set screw, and it's right here underneath the D-ring. So that this guy right here, just loosen that up a bit. You don't need to take it all the way out. Just give it like a half a turn or so, and it pops out just like that. And now what you'll see is you've got your speaker right there. But what you want to do is take this in your hand and cup your other hand and go like that one time, just enough to pop it out like that, and then you can pull it out with your hand just like that. So what I did with your chassis is since you have all of this decorative stuff on your handle that Nick put on there, right? I think, I don't remember who he said etched this part, but then Nick etched this. But this is very ornate over here on the handle. I wanted to continue that kind of motif on your chassis. And I don't know if it's going to pick up good on camera or not. Maybe. But I just kind of made, you know, some filigree type stuff on your chassis. It does say Solo Sabers over here for me, over here. And then it does say Starfall Sabers over here for Nick. Just like that. You got your Proffie board right here, so easy access to your SD card and your micro USB. You will need to lift this board up to get to your SD card. I put this tape on here because I put a divot in the chassis for it. It's 1/4 inch art tape. It's not needed right now because it's a press fit down into the shelf. I just went ahead and threw it on there just to show you how it goes on there in case you ever need it in the future. But you can take that tape off. This board is a tight snap fit down. Now if you keep lifting up this board over and over again, that might loosen up a little bit, and then that's where this piece of tape comes into play. So just nice and neat piece of art tape, and there's a divot all around the chassis for that. So it was intentional and planned that that be there. And then you got a removable battery system here. So spring side over here is your negative side of your battery. And then you've got Smuggler's Outpost Switch Pixel PCB set. So this is the female part. And the part that you don't see, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to pick up on camera. Maybe if you could just barely in there, you're not going to be able to see that. There's a 14-pin PCB set, and it's right underneath this crystal chamber. That never comes out, okay? That is adheres to the bottom of the crystal chamber, and that PCB stays in place. So that's how we do that. I adhese it to the crystal chamber, and then use the set screw for the crystal chamber to hold everything in place, which you don't see because this handle shroud is in place. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw a battery in. So you've got motion controls, and they might go off on you. That's okay. This is running a 24mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. So what you want to do is when you put this battery in, now you can put this chassis in the Saber any way you want. Just come in here and slide it right in. Now, if you can see that on camera, I've got that chassis sticking out just a hair, 0.02 inches to be exact, right? That's how much that chassis is sticking out. And I did that on purpose because I went in here and I put a little spacer inside this pommel, and that stays in place. I made that nice and tight. You can't take that out accidentally. You'd have to put your finger in there and rip that guy out. It's meant to stay in there because that is what pushes this chassis forward, that 0.02 inches. So we're going to put this on. Now you can almost, I don't know if you can see that, but if you look at that seam right there, you can see how that's bouncing, and that's good. It's bouncing on those pins. So what we want to do when we tighten this down, we want to first line up the D-ring with this emblem because that's how it was meant to go. We'll take our finger, and you want to make sure you press the pommel all the way down and then come over here and tighten it up. And the reason we do that is that spacer that I put in there and that 0.02 inches, that 0.02 inches I left, that was so that we could push this chassis forward and engage all those 14 pins. So now everything is engaged. You got your crystal chamber lighting up. LEDs lighting up. Nice smooth swing. And then we can twist off. Now if you don't want to do that, you can use the button obviously. So when you're holding it in your right hand, and this is weird for me because I'm left-handed, but when you're holding it in your right hand, the switch that's closest to your thumb is the activation. And it'll fire up. And then of course the other switch over here is your auxiliary. And then you can tap it again and turn it off. And it turns everything off. So you've got two set screws up here. You got one in the back here. This holds your main PCB in. So don't ever mess with this guy. This is what's holding everything in place in here. Your blade retention is this brass knob. Very easy to use. Very good design. You don't need an Allen key. So just back that out of the blade socket. This takes a 1-inch diameter blade. So we'll throw the blade in here. Again, you're going to feel it bounce on those pins, and that's a good sign, right? But when you lock this blade down, make sure that it's pushed down all the way. And when it's pushed down all the way, it's locked down on those NeoPixel pins. Right? You've got battle mode. You can see the blade lock up right here. Again, you can see the blade lock up in the blade, but you'll notice the animation in your crystal. And we pull away from it. And then to get to your soundtrack on each of your fonts, hold down your power for a second and let go. We'll let that play for a little bit because this one's kind of a quieter one at first. And then just do the same thing to turn it off. Hold down your power for a second and let go. That turns it off. Now to go to your next sound font, because I left your entire stock font package on here, just hit your auxiliary. Now you got a nice blue blade. You got all that shine through on both sides. And then your crystal, because your crystal is wired in line with your blade, that's how I make this removable chassis possible, right? Do like two more. Just trying to show you that they work. So you got kind of a fire font or a fire blade, fire crystal. We'll go to the next one. Smooth fuzz. And that's just a solid red blade. And then you can move on down the line to all your sound fonts. So we'll go ahead and take the blade out now. And then we'll go through taking the battery out. Very simple to do. All right, I'll just back this back in the blade socket. Actually, before I take the battery out, no, we'll take the battery out. So we'll just come in, loosen that set screw again. Remember, it's just like a half turn. You don't need to take it out. If you do take it out, you run the risk of losing it because they are small. So just give it that quarter turn or something and take the pommel right off. Now with a battery in it, the chassis is significantly heavier than it was without a battery. So it should just fall right into your hands just like that. And then we'll come over here from the positive side by your speaker and pull the battery out with your finger just like that. And that's it. That's your chassis and that's the functionality of your Saber. So we're going to put this in here real quick and go over one thing that you know already about the Saber, but I just want to go over it one more time. This Saber has a moving mechanism on it, and it's one of the first that I've seen that has this, and I thought it was really cool what Nick did. So he made this handle to where you could hide this crystal chamber if you want. There's a set screw on the back of this handle hidden in the etch right here, right? Again, this is very tiny, so don't do a bunch of turns. But if you come over here and loosen it just a bit, now you can actually take this handle, spin it, and hide your crystal chamber, and then you could lock your handle back in place. You know, if you wanted to hide it, and then when you don't want to, you can just rotate it back over here, line it up right. I'm gonna make sure I got it lined up correctly, and then just come over here and tighten the set screw again. So you have the option of hiding the crystal chamber if that's something that you want to do. Just tighten that up. So yeah, but I'm going to leave this open for you. I don't know why you'd want to hide this guy. It's beautiful, right? The crystal chambers are awesome. But I just wanted to show you that. Of course, you know about it already, but for those watching that don't know this, but recognize the saber from Nick. So yeah, that is your saber. Let me know if you got any questions. If not, it's early enough today that I can get this out in the mail today. All right, thanks, buddy.